Good morning, everybody. You're on Swails.com, and this is your Friday weather briefing. Thank goodness it's Friday, huh? And what a day it is out there. Glorious blue skies outside my window right now. And that follows a cold night. Last night, those temperatures dipped into the 40s in a lot of locations. That's something we expected. And you can see the high pressure associated with the cool, dry air, keeping the skies nice and clear and sunny now through Minnesota, Iowa, down into Illinois. Virtually all of the Midwest experiencing some beautiful springtime weather. The low temperatures, though, that was a big deal last night. Down around Cedar Rapids, things went down as low as 45 degrees. Same story up in Independence, Iowa. Here in the Quad Cities, the official low was 49 degrees. But out at the National Weather Service office in Mount Joy, the reading there went all the way down to 46 this morning. Wow, pretty fresh temperatures for this late in the season. But things are warming up nicely out there today with full sunshine and all that dry air. We'll have no trouble getting back into the mid and upper 70s. Just an absolutely perfect day. Things begin to change, though, quickly tomorrow. Here's our jet stream chart, and you can see on the 500 millibar flow here, there's a strong disturbance digging into the central Rockies on Saturday, and as that kicks out into the plain states, it's going to encounter the return flow of moisture that comes on the back of the high, and that'll set off some thunderstorms in the plain states tomorrow, and then those will roll towards us and be in our area sometime, I'd say Sunday afternoon, maybe Sunday evening. Timing on that a little bit shaky right now, but it still appears that we're in line for some thunderstorms in eastern Iowa and western Illinois later on in the weekend. But first things first, here's a look at Saturday's weather map. And you can see our low pressure starting to work its way out of Colorado and right on into western Kansas there. Nice flow of moisture out ahead of it, and you can see in that red and orange area there, those are thunderstorms that are firing up out in Nebraska, and there's certainly going to be the potential for some severe weather out that way tomorrow. In fact, the Storm Prediction Center has actually put out a moderate risk of severe storms that extends from far western Iowa back through southeastern Nebraska and into north central Kansas. That's an area that even has some potential for some tornadoes tomorrow. We're going to show you a little bit of a sounding here. This is what the atmosphere is expected to look like during the late afternoon and evening hours on Saturday out to the west of us. This is from north central Kansas, south central Nebraska, right on the border there. And those wind barbs off to the right, you can see they start out from a southeasterly direction, and then as you go up with height in the atmosphere, they start turning in more from the southwest to the west. So there's a lot of veering and turning going on with the winds in the atmosphere, and that's what's known as shear, and that's what generates supercells and severe thunderstorms that could produce tornadoes, and that's why there is that risk out for that area during the day on Saturday. Now, by the time we get to Sunday, the front kicks east, and you can see thunderstorms late afternoon, early evening forming over eastern Iowa and western Illinois, and they extend on the front right back into Missouri. The one thing about Sunday's situation in our immediate area here is that when you take a look at the sounding for our region, those winds are much more unilateral. You can see that southwest to west all the way from the lowest levels of the atmosphere right on up to the top. And so that does not impart the shear that would create the tornado threat, but there still could be some strong thunderstorms around. And as you take a look at the risk area from the Storm Prediction Center, there is still a slight risk out now for eastern Iowa, northern Illinois, and back into parts of Missouri and eastern Kansas. So that's an area to watch on Sunday, and of course that does include my immediate area here in eastern Iowa and western Illinois. The other thing, too, is this is kind of an active pattern here, and I don't think we're really going to be done with the storms when they move on out Sunday night. There's a couple more disturbances that are going to roll through the Midwest early next week. Each and every one of these has the capability of producing thunderstorm clusters that can produce some pretty heavy rainfall, and this is the GFS forecasted rain, and it goes out about 7 to 8 days, and in this particular case, there's some amounts there that are in the order of 4 to 5, maybe even 6 inches, particularly in a band along and north of Interstate 80. Everything you see in red there is where there could be some 2-inch totals. The bottom line in this situation is that until the storms form and they'll kind of line up, very difficult to say where that actual heavy rain will fall. But there is clearly the potential for some of that to occur. We've been seeing this on model runs for 3 or 4 days now, so it's just a matter of fine-tuning that in the days ahead. But I certainly think that some areas are going to see some excessive rainfall in the next 5 to 7 days, and that is something we'll be watching. But today we're looking outside, and what we're watching is the blue skies and the beautiful weather, and we will have no problems weather-wise here for the next 24 hours as all the action stays to the west of us. So that's your weather briefing for this Friday. Have a terrific weekend, and thanks for visiting tswails.com. And of course, roll weather.